was a huge disappointment getting knocked out by Germany. They will want payback here tonight.
Yeah, you would think so. And France, they come in on pretty good form in the qualifiers. We know some of their top players aren't playing, but they still went 10-2 in the qualifiers and looked very sharp. And they averaged 21 assists per game, which is good enough to lead the region. And that says it demonstrates that they share the ball around, they run some good sets, and they coordinate their players really well.
Talk about the NBA talent that Germany have. France have it in abundance as well. Led by coach Vincent Collet. The action here in Shenzhen did get underway earlier. As we've discussed with Dominican Republic edging past Jordan. A real roller coaster ride of a matchup. These two are straight in at the deep end. The headline matchup in the group. France looking for payback against the German side that knocked them out of Eurobasket 2017. These two are the clear favourites to progress as the top two from Group G. Dominican Republic have a chance to upset the odds. Jordan are already hanging by a thread. That is how significant the format is. Game day one so crucial. The two sets of players out on court and lining up, and we will pause for a moment for the two national anthems.
The national anthem of Germany. 女士们、先生们，请全体起立，演奏双方运动队国歌。首先演奏德国国歌。And now, the national anthem of France. 下面演奏法国国歌。
France and Germany both have aspirations of finishing on the podium at this competition. The winner tonight will be the strong favourite to win the group and would also carry a huge win forward into the second stage. We are all set for a mega matchup in Group G here at the 2019 FIBA World Cup. Myself, Tim Long, alongside FIBA Hall of Famer Andrew Gaze, with you to call the action here in China. Ahead of the introduction of the two starting fives, we'll get the introduction of your officiating team for this huge game. They're the men in the middle. And as ever, we'll hope that the focus remains on the players. France have a trio of leaders who return. Germany arrived here with a roster that contains a young and exciting trio of NBA players of their own. Dennis Schroeder, Daniel Tice and Maxi Kleber. One of the big threats of this team is their outside shooting, even the big men capable of knocking down threes, although it's also the one big area that star player Schroeder says he needs to work on, admitting that many of his teammates are ahead of him in that regard, and that says something.
Well, it does, and he has improved it ever so slightly. And when you look at his NBA stats, he's up to just over 33%. So he has made some strides forward, but he is a superstar. In fact, I'm trying to think of a better point guard in the competition at this World Championships, and that includes the American players as well. He is a real handful, can create for others, can create for himself, and as that perimeter game starts to expand, he becomes even tougher to guard.
And the three leaders back for France that took bronze in Spain 5 years ago: Nicolas Batum, Evan Fournier and Rudy Gobert, all NBA stars. Mondo De Colo was one of the top guards in Europe last season, winning the EuroLeague with CSKA. And then a few talented youngsters looking to make a name for themselves as well. NBA player Frank Ntilikina and Bayern Munich's Matthias Lesor amongst them.
My word, it's a star-studded lineup, and it's going to be tough. And that man in the middle, he's the anchor to their defense, and they're an exceptionally good defensive team and have been for quite some time, and that's because of the inside presence and Rudy Gobert. He just two-time defensive player of the year in the NBA and protects that paint like no other. Shot blocking genius, but he's also in the on-ball situation can move his feet laterally and keep the smaller guys in front because he can gap them well enough with his size.
Just the 10th player in NBA history to win that award on multiple occasions. Henrik Rudel is the head coach of Germany, has been since 2017, having been an assistant before that. Vincent Collet leads France into battle. These two have faced each other just once before at the World Cup, France winning by just 2 points back in 2006. But in their most recent meeting, Germany knocked France out of Eurobasket at the round of 16 a couple of years ago. Just a 3-point winning margin in that one. It is set to be tight and tense again.
It is indeed, and this is one of the games of the tournament that I've been looking forward to, and here we are in our group on day one. We get to see it. Both these teams, I think, as the tournament progresses, are going to get better. Just for that time together, you bring those NBA players, it always takes a little bit of adjusting, but we got two teams that can lay legitimate claims, not just fanciful claims, legitimate claims to being medal contenders.
Here we go then, myself, Tim Long, alongside the second top scorer in the history of this competition, Andrew Gaze, and this place is raucous, rowdy and ready. Two old foes with recent bad blood, right to the end of game day one of the first ever FIBA World Cup here in China, and the first ever to feature 32 teams across 8 venues. But right now, all eyes are on Shenzhen for this showpiece showdown between France and Germany. And this clash of European titans is underway. Tonight's result carries through to the second round and could have a profound impact on whether it's France or Germany who go deep into the 2019 FIBA World Cup. France with the first offense and very quickly with the first score. What a way to get going for the man who led them at both the 2014 and 2010 World Cups, Nicolas Batum. Germany will look to answer back with their first offense, off the mark for Schroeder. Here's Batum again. LBC moving it into Gobert. Listen to the fans here in Shenzhen as the big man goes to work and gets denied by Maxi Kleber.
That's beautiful defense by Kleber. He used his size and was able to stop the big fella from getting to the basket. They didn't send a double team, which surprised me a little as well.
Here's Kleber on the offensive end now, misses the three. A tip from Batum, and here come France again. Germany still searching for their first score. And Bai takes on the three, and it's a quick fire, 5 points for France.
It is, and defensive transition there by Germany just found wanting. Not the level of intensity you'd expect, and wide open 3-ball.
Here's Schroeder, jinking and jiving on the perimeter. Misses again, so 0 of 2 from the field in the first 90 seconds. Fournier. He passes the ball back to the big man. Gobert again. He misses. Rebound ball down by Tice. There he is on the offensive end now, Tice. And he'll wait for help from this near side from Zipser. Oh, rejection from Gobert, showing just why he's NBA Defensive Player of the Year.
And that's what he brings to the table, that length. He's also got great timing. You see a lot of big fellas out there, they're sitting behind a desk because they just don't time it all that well. And Fournier this time in transition, and it's one of those ones where just took it to the basket and ran into the defense. But there's Gobert. What timing.
Rudy Gobert, who led the NBA in blocks in 2017, with his defense helping France to extend their lead as they get to the foul line to stretch this run to 6 unanswered. And that's where it remains for now. Schroeder bringing the ball forward for Germany. He's had a phenomenal season with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Hanging in the lane and missing was Akpinar. BC back to Fournier. Gobert on the perimeter looking to manufacture some room. It bypasses him to Batum into Gobert, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Great recognition, wasn't it, by Batum? Had the shot or had a play on the rim, but when you see the big fella down low, particularly when he gets that deep, and that's going to be the challenge by Tice, is to try and keep him on the box, make him put the ball to the floor, but when he can catch it that deep and go straight up with it, just his size and strength is going to be tough for Tice down low.
Rudy Gobert averaged a phenomenal 15.6 points, 12.7 rebounds and 2.3 blocks per game in his 6th NBA campaign with the Utah Jazz last season. Says it's his dream to win either World Cup or Olympic gold. France among the favourites for this competition as they lead Germany by 7. Almost 3 minutes without a score for the Germans. Schroeder draws the contact this time from Albisi.
And already we can see the offense really going through Schroeder a lot, taking a couple of shots in the middle on-ball pick and roll, and that time again, a little action, getting on that left-hand wing, and again another on-ball situation. So it's going to be a big part of what they do on the offensive end.
Kleber off the mark, off the lobbed inbound pass, and still Germany wait for their first score.
A couple of good looks, just can't put the ball in the hole. Big fella's down low, rushing it a little bit, and that's the Gobert factor.
Germany 0 of 6 from the field in the opening 3 and a bit minutes. Back out to Mbaye, who has to scurry to recover. Shot clock's down to the final 3 seconds here. Fournier looking to quicken the pace, gets it away in time, gets fouled on the 3-point shot. Oh no.
Just didn't hit the rim, so shot clock ran out. Germany get it. Good defense that time. Renowned 3-point shooter. I think he's got good range for you as well, and that time a good closeout, good contest on the shot.
The defense was indeed tight, but not too tight. Schroeder moving it on to Tice. It falls well short, maybe some nerves in the German ranks. They have been rocked and rattled early on by France. Albisi looking to work his magic. There's the interception. Now a chance in the open floor, perhaps. Kleber, and he was greeted mid-air by Mbaye, but a foul.
It was, and they're just looking for something cheap now. Germany's starting to think about it. It starts to play in your head. We've almost gone 4 minutes and no score. Here was a chance for a cheap one, but good defensive transitions. There you see 3 French guys getting back to contest that shot.
Still German possession as they inbound off the baseline. And now almost 4 minutes without a score. Tice on to Schroeder. Tice again from the elbow. Another miss, and it pops out into the hands of Albisi.
And not a lot you can do about it. Tice has had 2 really good looks so far. So the offense is not the problem, just got to put the ball in the hole. It's Fournier with just a bit of a blood rush that time. Little fadeaway, nothing but air.
Germany need a bit of composure here, and instead they turn the ball over. Now the floor is open for France, and they have liftoff at the 2019 World Cup. A 9-point surge right out of the gates, and it forces Germany to call timeout.
It is a couple of missed opportunities, transition baskets that we see, and you can understand why the Germans want to have a talk about it. Just try and change the momentum of the game. Sloppy turnovers, and Germany need to figure out a way to start generating some offense. They forced France into some tough shots, but that won't help their cause with the turnovers. So nervous start by Germany. Henrik Rodel just trying to keep the spirits high. That was really good defense on that occasion by Kleber. And Gobert, look at the length of reach that he's got.
What a start for France to this tournament. Germany are in a tricky position right now. They don't want to let this hole grow any deeper. What can they do off the back of the timeout? Looking for their first score, 4.5 minutes in. Ooh. Schroeder. On the move is Zipser to the far side. It opens up some space on the perimeter for Kleber, who misses, and Gobert the rebound. LBC. Midway point of the first quarter. Germany now 0 of 2 from the outside. They're about 0 of 10 from the field, and here they are on the fast break and getting back on defense again. France slamming the door in the face of the Germans.
And by both ends of the floor, we saw the runaway dunk, and that's time on the defensive end, goes up and rejects the shot.
Here's Gobert, nice pass towards the baseline, and Mbaye on the offensive end again, doing a bit of everything.
And that's great play by Rudy Gobert. Just the unselfishness, had the play himself, but was able to find an even better and more open Mbaye.
Kleber back to Akpinar, and an offensive foul, and it goes from bad to worse for France.
Tyson not happy. One of those things we saw in the earlier game today too. Just a little late movement, gets pinged for the foul. Akpinar there checking out of the game, but the issue they had too, Akpinar starts to drive before the screen's set, and that's hard. You're always going to put the screener in jeopardy of that moving screen, and that time got pinged.
How about this start from Mbaye? 7 points. France's 11. Here's Fournier. Gobert hands it off to Batum. Batum prodding and probing back to Mbaye. Shot clock down to the final seconds. He draws the attention of the defense, kicks it out, and Nilikina knocks it down. France are on fire in the first. A 14-point lead. Fulkman. Bartel back out. Schroeder. Shot clock down to 5. Nilikina right on top of him. Schroeder trying to shake off the attentions of everybody. Has to go all the way up to the ceiling to try and beat Gobert, and it misses.
This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. There's a sloppy turnover by France, 14-0. And we've played 6.5 minutes. They've yet to score. It's an extraordinary defensive performance, and give a lot of credit to France, but also just discredit Germany on the inability to knock down shots that you need to make at this level. If you can't make an open free throw, you're going to have troubles.
Germany 0 of 11 from the floor. And they are very much an offensive-minded team, capable of putting up big numbers, but they haven't been able to produce anything in the first quarter here.
In the Euro qualifiers, they led the tournament or the qualification series for Europe in scoring. They scored more points than any other European team, so they do have the capacity.
Modo Low in for the first time, robbing Benzing, the captain, looking to step up with a captain's contribution. Another miss, 12 in a row. It's an unbelievable first 7 minutes to this game. Fournier, Gobert, off to Batum. Batum's going to take on a three. Rebound grabbed by Bartle.
During these moments, these are the times you're looking for an easy transition basket or something at the rim.
Open shot from the corner, off the penetration and kick out from Schroeder. Finally, some joy for the Germans, knocked down by Molo. It took 7.5 minutes. Modo Low gets Germany on the board at the World Cup. Gobert, can he reel it in? No. Back-to-back turnovers from France. Still leading by 11.
It is, and Schroeder with the penetration, you see the defense collapse. That's the sort of attention he's going to get. And Low, wide open from the corner three. We've seen already, they had some really good looks. Just not putting him down.
Let's see if that three from Low settles them. Schroeder, again the man with the responsibility of conjuring up the open spaces. This time weaving all the way to the basket himself, but missing the layup. Nilikina. Back out to Mbai. He fires it against the body of Benzing, still French possession.
It's interesting, I saw all four teams practice yesterday, and by far, to me, Germany looked the sharpest. Knocking down shots, playing with great intensity. And then 24 hours later, we played almost 8 minutes and they've only got one field goal made.
Having said that, you also thought that Al Douaire looked a little lethargic in practice and he went and got 34 points.
That's true. That is true.
Doesn't always translate to the game.
Sometimes the practice form doesn't always translate, as you said.
Nando De Colo in the game for France for the first time. And he turns it over straight away. De Colo, who's just won a EuroLeague title with CSKA.
And speaking of yesterday's practice, of all the players that played, De Colo was probably the best. Did not miss a shot, was in total control, threading the needle. A little surprised that he didn't get to start in this one, particularly based on the form. And there's the little holding foul there.
You said it was Andrew Albisi who got the start at point guard. He was in the All-Euro Cup first team last season. Here's Low. Final minute and a half of the quarter, and Germany have only had one score from this man, Modo Low, looking to dance with the defense and trying to take on Batum on the inside and getting denied.
Again, great defense around the rim. Low gets to the basket. This time it's Batum, was it, that come in and just rejected, not just with the one hand, but with the two.
Slams the door with two hands. Several big rejections from France in the opening 9 minutes. 11 still the lead. De Colo. Poirier in the game. The backup center, Batum. Nilikina, the 21-year-old. Batum across to De Colo. De Colo skipping into the lane, floating one up, and the big, powerful Poirier with the putback.
I think Poirier stole a couple from De Colo there. That ball might have dropped in, or maybe not. Great effort. And now it's at the defensive end too. A shot like that goes up. You got to box out, keep the French bigs off the rim.
Poirier, who led the EuroLeague in rebounding last season with a big one on the offensive glass. France up by 13. Shot clock down to the final couple of seconds here. From the elbow, it's off the mark from Giffey, but they get a second opportunity.
Switching defense. Poirier doing a great job keeping the guards in front.
Lowe was trying to work it into Footman, who was being fouled. 15.4 seconds remaining in the quarter. Germany in desperate need of another score before it's over.
I mean, when you think of it, 16 points for France, not a bad effort by Germany on the defensive end to hold France to only 16. But who would have thought in a quarter of basketball you're only going to see 3 points from one of the medal contenders?
Even missing the free throw. Johannes Voetman will try and get just their second score here. Only 4 points in almost 10 minutes. And De Colo will look to dictate the tempo here and control the ball for the final few seconds of the quarter. And he's fouled with 5 seconds remaining.
They do that a lot, Germany. They really like to blitz those on-ball screens, send the double team and rotate on the weak side. They spent a lot of time on it in practice yesterday as well.
Batum will inbound. Limited time for France to create one more shot before the quarter is through. De Colo working with Poirier, who rolls inside. De Colo clings onto it to the foul line, won't get it away in time. And it looked like he wasn't aware of how much time was remaining, but apart from that, not too much wrong for France. They scored the first 14 points in this one. They lead Germany by 12 at the end of one. Just one field goal so far for the Germans, who trail 16-4.
Impressive start from France. Hold a team, any team in this competition, at only 4 points. 1 of 17. That is not going to get it done. And a lot of those looks really, really good. And there's really not an area on the floor that you look at Germany and say that they've got an advantage, albeit that they look up and say, hey, you've held one of the powerful scoring teams to only 16 points, but it's the offensive end that Coach Rodel needs to focus on.
Henrik Rudel, a man who, as a player, helped Germany win their only Eurobasket trophy back in 1993, bronze at the 2002 World Championships as well, and will demand more from his players here. If you're new to the sport, if you're new to international basketball, this is far from what we expected. Germany are one of the medal contenders.
Yes, so far from what we expected. We thought this was going to be a really close, high-intensity affair, and it still is relatively close. You think it's only 12 points of difference. So I think Germany would look at that and say, well, this is an aberration. This is one of those rare occasions where the ball's not dropping, the execution a little off, things don't go right. But give France a lot of credit. The shot blocking, the rim protection, not only is that physically what they're doing, but also the psychological pressure that's putting on Germany, also causing those problems around the rim.
As you say, Germany haven't been able to deal with the interior defense of France. They've still only taken 3 outside shots, though. You want to see them taking that or more. We know they can do that. Plenty of players who can knock down the 3.
Yeah, and I think France have done a really good job of defending the three-point line. They've had a few breakdowns. Tice in particular, a couple of shots from around the elbow, one even closer than that and came up short. And if you're a basketball fan, make sure you get your phone out and download the app. Sensational. Great way to keep up to date with all the goings on at the World Cup.
Here we go, start of the second quarter. France leading 16-4. Germany start with the ball with Danilo Bartel, moving it on to Benzing, getting inside. Another rejection, Labery this time. Another opportunity then for Benzing, but he falls to the floor, and they still can't find a way through at the rim. Here's Nilikina on the other end, and France picking up right where they left off.
Nilikina, he can shoot it, but really looks his stroke starting to just get so confident and looks so fluid. When he first went in the NBA, it's an area that he was working on, and it's coming together.
Selected by the New York Knicks as the 8th overall pick in the 2017 NBA draft. And there's another miss on the interior for Germany. They still haven't hit one from 2-point range in the game. Almost 11 minutes now. 1 of 19 from the field, but they've missed all of their 2s. Here is Nilikina. Batum, 2 NBA players combining. Nilikina looking to take on the long 2, misses it, and the rebound grab by Bartel. Germany down by 15. Modo low. Out to Benzing. Benzing step to the side, three-point shot. Rebound Batum. Quarterback pass down the floor was a beauty, and Poirier for the big touchdown.
Wow. This is some show by France. Blanketing Germany in extraordinary. Now it's the outlet pass, the beautiful touch pass. DeColo, I think it was on that occasion. Defense was there, but just Poirier goes upstairs with the two-hand and tucks it in. These are the times where, when you're Germany, you've got to find a way to get something cheap. A little backdoor cut, just putting your head down and creating everything off the dribble to get to the rim. It's not working.
Two of the stars of the last domestic European campaign combining. Germany forced to call timeout. You see the numbers there. France have had 5 turnovers. Germany have only had 2 turnovers in the game, but every missed shot is a turnover.
And both those turnovers led to easy scoring opportunities as well. Sometimes it can be a little misleading when you may have not many, but it's what is produced out of that. And the French fans, gee, they
still not happy.
They don't mind dressing it up and getting part of it. Isn't it fantastic?
They want more. France leading by 17. Well, they know it's not done yet, far from it. Germany have what it takes to try and mount a comeback, but it would have to be a special one. And just their second field goal, and their first on the inside, and it comes from Johannes Voetman. DeColo. Taking the ring road around the defense, moving it out to Axel Tupan, Laberie. DeColo. So quick on the offensive end for France, and in the end, perhaps too quick.
DeColo threw it where he should have been, not where he was. That time, Laberie just stopped when he should have continued on.
That was the 6th turnover from France. Cross-court pass out to Benzing. Here's Bartel. Low moves into the paint, then moves away. Bartel's going to take it on himself, lost it as he backed into Poirier, shoots the hot shot over the top of the big man and gets it to go. It's more field goals here in the second quarter for Germany than they had in the whole of the first. Tupan, Poirier, DeColo, Nilikina. Pings it out to the corner to DeColo. DeColo will go to work backing in, lost his balance and turned it over. Schroeder threads the eye of the needle. What a pass that was. And Voetman puts it in. Germany are on the comeback trail finally.
And they're the ones you need when you're struggling to score, those leaking out, getting in transition, so easy ones around the basket. And just good running. That's a beautiful pass by Schroeder. Had to be absolutely perfect. And France started to pay the price for that turnover count.
You'll be hard pushed to find a better long-range pass than this through the whole of the World Cup. Voetman did the easy part, but it's a couple of quick-fire scores for him. And Germany have closed the gap to 11. Look what it means to them after such a frustrating start.
It certainly does. I like the timeout by France as well. Little run, momentum, turning the way of Germany. Just settle things down. Still a healthy 11-point margin.
And there you see what you were talking about, the points from turnovers. France have had more despite 7 turnovers to Germany's 2.
Exactly. It's the time and the place of those turnovers that's really been the issue. And Germany needs a few more in order to get things done. Keep that scoreboard ticking over.
21-10 to France. Germany starting to put it together, but have they given themselves too much to do with that poor start? Laberie. Nilikina to Poirier. Here's Tupan. Shot clock winding down on Axel Tupan. He puts up the fake, puts up the shot and misses, and Schroeder now leading the charge for the Germans. Lovely pass again from Schroeder. The foul, will it fall for Futman? Yes, it will.
Wow.
Finally, Germany finding their feet at the World Cup.
And after a tough start, you can see the fans starting to get behind them. And great finish, wasn't it? Futman just using his strength, going up to pay with the slap. And these are the things you need to do. Just grind it out, stay in touch. Things will turn as they appear to be now for Germany. They get the scoreboard ticking over.
It was a 14-0 start for France. Germany have closed the gap to 8 points. 3.5 minutes into the second quarter. And Futman completing the three-point play, taking his tally to 8. LBC back in the game in place of De Colo. Fournier. Poirier setting the screen. Fournier working around it, lost it on the dribble. And here comes Schroeder once more. It's another no-look pass out to Benzing for 3, not this time.
Good pass by Schroeder. Found his shooter wide open. Benzing, he's big guys can stretch the floor. And good look, good recognition by Schroeder in transition.
LBC, cross-court pass from him out to Tupan. Shot clock down to the final 5. Poirier, who's a really good passing big man, but a rejection. Fournier denied. Big play from Zipser on the defensive end for Germany. Schroeder this time looking to go to the hole himself and draws contact along the way.
He's got such control of the ball, and it's the change of pace. That time Schroeder goes past the screen, just a little hesitation, and then has that explosiveness to take that extra step. Just the slightest of hesitations there. And Lavery that time just trying to get over there. Germany continue to try and push it out. There you see the foul. Schroeder does a good job of initiating that contact. When the little fellas go in there against the big guys, you've got to use your body in order to protect the ball. If you get that separation, they just go up, and it's very difficult to get your shot off. But just to create some contact, use it, get to the rim. And he doesn't get the reward with the free throw.
Schroeder 0 of 4 from the field as well, although he's conjured up 2 assists over the last few minutes. Starting to look like the player who averaged 15.5 points, over 4 assists per game in the NBA last season.
Well, Germany are 5 of 26. It's not going to stay there. 19% from the field. They're not going to do this for the rest of the game.
Fournier turnover, Schroeder leading the fast break game. Plenty of room to operate. Another score for Germany. Would you believe it? They have closed a 17-point gap down to 4.
Akpinard getting a good job getting out, pushing the break. Turnovers are starting to take their toll on France. And there's another one. My goodness, real careless with the ball. And they're already up to their 10th turnover.
And Germany have still only had 2. And they weren't taking advantage of those France turnovers early on. They are now.
Oh my word, they are. There we see good, easy transition basket coming off a turnover. I mean, most teams will tolerate, between 10 to 14 turnovers a game. France already up to 10, and we've only played a quarter and a half.
Schroeder loves that pass around the corner. Three-pointer wouldn't go for Futman this time. Fournier. And by, who had the hot hand early on, but France have gone stone cold since. Now BC looking to change that. They touch it around the perimeter. Three-point shot back in business. And with a bang, Amatum by.
Great ball movement that ended up with Mbai, but really good extra pass.
Schroeder tickling the twine and getting his first field goal of the World Cup. They cancel out the triple. A few seconds earlier at the other end, 4 points the gap again. LBC drives the baseline, kicks it back out, Fournier. Shot clock to 6. Static from Fournier, and Bai creating room for himself though, and nails the long two this time.
Wow, he's been tough, hasn't he? Really good for France. He's up to 10 points now, 4 or 5 from the field.
Here's Akpinar, Vogtmann, the main scorer so far for Germany, driving in, and he's stepped on the baseline. Vogtmann with 8 points, but a turnover. Germany down by 6. In comes Daniel Theiss, 4-time German League All-Star and former league best defender before moving to the Boston Celtics in 2017. And Bai off to Fournier. Here's Mbai, he's got 12 points, looking for another 3, misses that one. Theiss the rebound. Schroeder. He's going to take on another 3, Schroeder. Falls short this time.
It's a little ambitious. I know he'd made one, but that was a little bit of a heat check. Sometimes he tries to take matters into his hands just a little too much.
LBC to Gobert. He's going to drive in to Mbai. Oh, he's knocking everything down at the moment, and that time he was looking for the spectacular. Got fouled in the process, and Theiss is fuming because he thought it was a travel.
Travel, or he thought there might have been an offensive push-up. We have a push-off. We have a look. Just look at it. No, I don't think so. Schroeder having words with the official as well, with just a hint of a push-off.
5 of 7 from the field so far for his 12 points, including 2 of 3 from downtown, but he misses the foul shot. France as a team just 2 of 5 from the line now.
As you'd expect, they're doing a great job on the boards too. They lead that count 21-14.
And Bai hits the second, 7 points is the lead. Schroeder. Theiss will set the screen, Schroeder around it, shoots from the elbow, misses. Theiss there with the offensive rebound. Swung around the perimeter. Theiss gives it back. Kleber, no way through on the inside.
Anything around the rim, and France has it covered so far. Look at this, just the good help, and it's the third man in. That time Batum coming from the weak side. Gorbay's got it covered, but Batum comes in and gets that extra level of assistance. It's not just the one block, it's the impact that it has on the psychology of when you're around the... You start to second guess yourself and sometimes see people that aren't even there.
Modo low, lightning fast crossover, and then tricked himself on the dribble almost in the end. Turns it over, only Germany's 3rd of the game. In fact, make it their 4th. France have had 10. They lead by 7 though. Looking to stretch the lead here, LBC. Final 2.5 minutes of the first half. Fournier finds Gobert. The oohs and ahs from this Chinese crowd every time he gets the ball, and he'll go to the line for 2.
It is absolutely jam-packed crowd in for this one, as you'd expect. It's one of the marquee matchups in first round action. Gobert, this is where it gets a little tricky from the free throw line. Not all that efficient, the big fella.
He led the NBA last season in screen assists, effective field goal percentage and true shooting percentage. And he shattered the single season all-time record for slam dunks, 306 through the campaign.
Well, they gets him so many on-ball screens, they throw it up around the rim, and particularly in a league where it's a lot tougher to play some zone and get that weak side help, it does open up those opportunities.
Batum nearly grabbed the offensive rebound, but Germany get away with it. Down by 8, looking to close the gap before the half. Oh, Schroeder, even he's not quick enough to catch up with that one. Germany, as we mentioned, only had 2 turnovers for the vast majority of the first 15-16 minutes. They've since had 3. BC. 5.9 assists per game in the Euro Cup last season. Fournier. Gobert will move back onto the inside, took the defense with him and allowed his fellow NBAer to knock down the outside shot.
Yeah, if he gets wide open like that, gets his feet set, there's not too many better in the competition, and does what he's supposed to do and knock down the open 3 ball.
Here's Zipser on the move to the foul line. Faked the pass, put up the shot, missed it. Batum underneath it for the rebound. France have stretched the lead back to 11. It looks as though they have weathered the German storm. Gobert looking to bully his way to the basket again, so cool and composed in the paint.
It is, and made a tough shot look pretty easy. His size. Nice little hook shot with the left, down low.
4 points for the NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Low. Schroeder to try and inject the imagination into the offense against Albisi. And then he was tripped as he tried to get through a gap between Albisi and Mbaye.
Really good defensive set that time by France. They're doing an excellent job with their switching. And when they have to bounce out, when there's a mismatch, there's great communication. Everyone's staying connected. Schroeder trying to make something. There you see the help. And just the little trip gets called for the foul. But as you'd expect, when you hold a German team to only 20 points, doing a terrific job. And a lot of that comes down to the intensity, the way in which France are pushing Germany out of their sets, and that was a good example of it.
2 contrasting styles to an extent here, and it's the defense of France certainly coming out on top. Zipser to inbound, Schroeder down on the deck. Vogtmann. Schroeder eventually gets the ball. Vogtmann looking to run interference for him. Schroeder floats it up and got nowhere near. Fournier. An 8-second, if that make it 7-second differential between shot and game clock. Fournier. Oh, he puts it in with the contact as well. The basket is good and a chance at a 3-point play for Evan Fournier.
Yeah, nice move by Fournier. Set play, the middle on ball. See the big comes off into a crowd. Gets the foul, throws up the prayer, and it's answered. Look at that, the wall of people he sees in front of him. Fournier, just a slight touch. Wasn't a lot in that foul, but good enough and controlled enough to still put that shot in.
France led by, I believe, 17 early on after that electric start. Germany got back within 4. Now it's 16 again.
Take away the turnover, the 10 turnovers in the half, which is way too many. They're shooting at France at 57%. And 63%, 5 of 8 from the 3-point line. That's some shooting.
And Germany shooting 21% from the field. 7 of 34 in this first half. Final seconds, and they turn it over. It could get even worse for them before the half is through. What a way to make amends. Maxi Kleber swatting that one out of the gym.
It was. Schroeder loses the handle of it a little bit. And just look at Kleber go up and save a certain 2. Great athleticism, great timing on the block shot.
Germany denying France one more score before the end of the half. But what a half for France.
Gotta love those slow-mo replays. You see the head, how high it is, how high they get up to make that block. An exceptionally good half for France. And only to contain any team in this competition to 20 points. What an extraordinary effort. Given that it's the powerful German team, that's exceptionally good work. And spoke about the field goal percentages, 54% for France, only 21%, and the three-point field goal percentage is just as healthy. The steals the way of Germany, and that's really what's kept the scoreboard ticking over. And the block shot, 6 for France, and the only glitch in that half for France was those 10 turnovers.
Germany have knocked down a couple of threes, but they're shooting just 19% inside. Voetman with 8 points leads the way for them. Schroeder has struggled to score, but he started to facilitate. Germany needs so much more after the break. They are down in a hole again, trailing by 16 to France, and averaging just 10 points a quarter over the first two. There was an improvement in the second.
It was.
They only scored 4 in the first quarter, 16 in the second, but they still haven't been able to find a way to stop France.
We saw that shot by Ntilikina. This time it's out. De Nicola just with a beautiful touch pass in the transition. That is an outstanding. Poirier finishes it off, and somewhat symbolic of what we saw in that first half. A lot of easier scoring opportunities for France, not so easy down this end to score for Germany. Eventually they found their way, found some cheap baskets, and just got to find a way to a little bit more motion in the half court, loosen up the defense, and that's another way too, is just get out in transition, run the floor, test the defensive transition of France.
We've had 2 examples already on this court today about how quickly a lead can evaporate. In the first game, it was Jordan who came from 16 down to get themselves ahead before eventually losing. And then in the first half of this one, we've seen Germany come from 17 down to get within 4. The gap has grown again since then, and they will have to do it all over again. It's far from over.
Well and truly, as you mentioned early on, we saw it to come back very hard at this level with the quality, but you can see the momentum swing. Germany were good enough to get it back to within 4 after a horrific start, but France then kicked away. And Schroeder, I think, he's a great facilitator, but the ball's in his hands a lot. And a little bit of motion before he gets into his action with those screening might help loosen up the defense. But also, sometimes it's as simple as just putting the ball in the hole. Tice had a couple of easy ones that he'd normally make. Benzinger missed a couple that he would normally make as well. So you look at the intimidation around the basket. You know you're not going to get anything cheap around the rim. It does put a lot of pressure on your 3-ball and your perimeter work. Fournier, you cannot go under Fournier. To even think of going under the screen on Fournier, that's regulation for him. That's just a not knowing the scout or just a defensive breakdown. See Lowe goes under that screen, he just needs to see daylight. Even if you trail him, he's still good enough to make something happen off the dribble, but you certainly can't go underneath.
Fournier has 9 points for France, 3 of 6 from the field, 7 rebounds for Fournier in the first half as well. France are led by the 13 of Amaton Bai, who's 5 of 7 from the field. They've had plenty of contributors all round, 6 points for the youngster from Ntilikina as well. The story of the first half really has been the French defense, and particularly on the interior, with 6 block shots. Ntilikina here showing his athleticism, but a couple of blocks for Germany as well, and how badly they needed them, especially that one right at the buzzer. They go into the locker room trailing by 16 at the half.
Gomez. Deck behind the back pass. Oh yes, now we've come to play.
Right now Serbia just moving the ball. Jokic now, tip pass. Oh baby, did you see that play? Starting with Bogdanovic.
Ball fake. And then unbelievable shot on the way down with a nice spin of the ball.
Got to get it in. It's in. Mojica breaks through. Mojica to win it. And Puerto Rico, who looked buried, have come all the way back to win. Some huge shots from Huertas has done the damage.
My parents gave me away, so I had no purpose in this life. Yeah. When you educate a woman, you educate a nation. It's a quote from Nelson Mandela, by the way.
Welcome back to the Shenzhen-based Sports Center, where France lead Germany by 16 at the half, 36-20. 20 for Germany, their joint lowest at a half in a FIBA Basketball World Cup game. And they had that tally against Australia in 2010. France have won 12 of their last 14 games, in which they've conceded 30 or fewer in a first half here at the World Cup. All of the signs suggest a French win, unless Schroeder can really find his form and Germany can find another comeback, because they've showed us in the first half that they are capable of one.
Well, they are, and they're clearly a lot better than they're performing here. They're an outstanding team with great talent, and just that first quarter, it was Germany's 4 points. 4 points in the quarter is their lowest tally ever in a quarter of World Cup basketball, as you'd suspect, and just one of those things where you come out perhaps a little nervous and ball not dropping, and things just start to compound on themselves. But they've got enough talent to work their way through this. They've given a really good head start to a talented French team, but it's not beyond them.
And you saw there the 5 points from Dennis Schroeder, the standout German superstar, but that doesn't tell the whole story. He's 1 of 8 from the field. Germany as a team shooting just 21% and only 19% on the inside, where France's defense has been so dominant.
It is, and it's the process you've got to go to. We say, well, how do you figure this out? Evan Fournier's been very good for France as well, 3 of 6 from the field, and when he's open, he knocks it down. But for Germany in that half-time break, they've been focusing on their offense and trying to find ways to create more separation and easier scoring opportunities. We didn't see any back cuts, we didn't see anything cheap on the basket. It was all force coming off the dribble, and with the size that France has, led by Rudy Gobert, who just that shot blocking presence, very, very hard if that's all you're going to rely on.
6 blocks for France in the first half, and Germany have a mountain to climb on the southeast coast of China here in Shenzhen. So much to be admired from that first half for the neutrals. Plenty of travelling fans from France and Germany here as well in this sizable crowd. It's an arena that holds over 12,000 people, and not too far off being full for this big matchup between 2 of Europe's biggest powers.
Now, I've been able to have a look at the shot chart as well, and when you look at Germany, they've only had 2 mid-range shots. Everything around the rim has been hard fought, and they're not shooting it well from the free ball, only 2 of 8. That's where sometimes when you've got such a deep presence in the paint, pulling up for those mid-range shots is a higher percentage and better than going in and trying to attack the rim. So that's where you've got to find the balance, and perhaps, although it's unconventional these days, which for the life of me I don't know why, but that mid-range action is something that they need to consider against this powerful French team.
We'll see if that's something that Henrik Rudel has got across to his players over the course of the 10 minutes or so of half-time. He will not be happy at all. A man who had his number 4 jersey retired in 2010, having spent his entire professional career with Alba Berlin. Dennis Schroeder, it's been a mixed bag from him so far. The man who's got the weight of a nation on his shoulders, one of the 3 NBA players for Germany. And Nicolas Batum, one of the NBA players for France, their top scorer at the last 2 World Cups. Yet to score here, but they haven't needed him. Germany led by the 13 points of Amatum Bai, and have had 9 from Evan Fournier.
Zips is the other one that I think is the capabilities. He's had some NBA experience, played with the Chicago Bulls, 0-3. He's one that is capable as well to get that scoreboard ticking over.
Paul Zipser made a big comeback to the national side in the final qualifying window, but then picked up a foot injury. He's been battling his way back to full fitness and has made the cut and has certainly taken a big part in this first game so far. Here we are, start of the second half. France leading by 16, 36-20. As we see the 5 on the floor for them, and they'll look to stretch that lead here. Fournier. And Bai, 13 points in the first half, rejected at the start of the second by Kleber.
Schroeder's got to find that balance as well. He's trying to create for himself 1 of 8, like you said, but he needs to try and create for others. There's the man I was talking about, and even he can't finish the layup around the bin. They're relatively easy shots that are being created for Germany.
Fournier bounce pass. Gobert was arriving onto it, but a foul on Schroeder.
At this level, Zips just got to be able to make that. Here we see the foul, just a little reach in by Schroeder down the other end. I mean, coaches can only do so much.
Albisi. Fournier battling past Akpinar, and another foul. Albisi appealing for an unsportsmanlike. It will be a regular foul, but 2 on Germany in the opening 45 seconds of the third.
Akpinar there complaining. He thought that also the foul should have been on the floor. Fournier in the act of shooting as judged by the refs. He misses the first. Really good free throw shooter. 80% from the free throw line with the Orlando Magic.
Gets the second to go, and France have tied their largest lead at 17. They had that lead previously right back in the first quarter. Fournier a rebound. Albisi's responsibility to bring the ball over centre court. Fournier. Gobert rolling into the centre. Batum to try and find him, and very nearly did.
Just a push in the back. Forkman gave him a little shove, knew he was beating all ends up. The issue with that is it's the 3rd team foul already. Only played a minute and a half.
Fournier. Gobert. Batum. He's going to take one on from way outside and missed it with the shot clock winding down.
I think there's called a foul on the rebound as well. So
that's 4 on Germany in less than a minute and a half, is it?
Kleber, I think that was on the rebounding contest. He looks bemused. Didn't seem like there was a whole lot in it.
There's confirmation of that foul on Kleber. Fournier gets free and is free firing.
Comes off those pin downs, you've got to stay on his hip. Get separation. He's going to be able to let that fly.
France have doubled the tally of Germany over the first 22 minutes. A 20-point advantage. And there's a foul on Fournier.
Really is extraordinary. It's not my wildest dreams that I think that Germany would only have 20 points, shooting it at 19%, 7 of 36.
So many remarkable numbers that we just did not expect from the Germans here. Schroeder trying to work his way past the shot blocker Gobert, and does.
Great timing by Schroeder that time against Gobert. Knew he's there, but just out-timed him. Germany coming off a good win over Australia in a couple of days ago. It's really hard to explain how they've dished up this type of form. This time another foul being called. You can see the intensity, the effort, things not going right on the offensive end, and the only way you keep yourself in the game when things aren't going well on the offensive end is you've got to get stops. And in that quest to try and get those stops, just been a little over-aggressive. And now that's the fifth team foul. And Fournier going to the line again. Good free throw shooter, like I mentioned, 80% across to the last NBA season.
Germany at the foul limit inside the opening 2.5 minutes of the quarter.
And that makes it really tough. There's such good perimeter shooters on the French team. You've got to you're locking to trail on a lot of those screens. You're trying to get as much contact as you can to slow the cutters down.
Schroeder looking to move it to Zipser, who only just shook off the attentions of Batum. Schroeder with the shot clock already at 5. Schroeder takes a hit, looks to respond from it. No time to try and beat the defense from Footman. Shot clock violation.
On the French review tomorrow suggests that this is going to be shown. A little clip there. Batum does a good acting job. Not a lot. Well, he didn't really act it. The delay was the acting. But that defensive set, the intensity, and the fact that Batum's up in the lanes trying to contest every pass, they're coming off hard off those on-ball screens, getting over the top of them. Just a great defensive display by France.
Batum. Now BC, we knew they were good defensively. Did we know they were this good? And Mbaye taking on the triple and got it. And Matt Mbaye with the hot hand on day one.
Yeah, but he's up to 16 points now, 6 of 9, 3 of 4 from the land of plenty as well.
Zipser going to work on Batum, back out. Footman across to Schroeder to try and answer back, and he gets it off the hop. Germany needs every bit of luck and fortune they can get.
Well, had to bounce around a few times, didn't want to go in, but eventually dropped in.
20 points the deficit. Fournier fires it in. Gobert trying to squeeze it home. And a helping hand from guess who? Matt Mbaye is everywhere. 18 in the game for Mbaye. Oh, Gobert going to the heavens to shut down Germany. Mbaye in transition couldn't hit the 3. 22 the lead.
So stagnant, not a lot of movement. Everyone's just standing around and everything's coming off the dribble. Very little is coming from passing and cutting action. Footman that time knocking down the 3 ball. But stagnant on the offensive end is Germany.
Footman up to 11. The lead down to 19 for now. Batum on the turnaround, up and running at the World Cup.
Great screen by Gobert as well. Created an open shot for Batum.
Midway point of the 3rd quarter. Schroeder to Footman. He sets the screen then and creates a bit of space for his teammate, but Obst misses.
This is badly too. I mean, that clunked in the rim and the backboard.
Gobert goes back out with Footman hot on his heels. Fournier Gobert will roll inside now, creates the space on the perimeter for Mbaye. Got it. Mbaye has 21 points to lead France.
Doesn't he love his own work? Very excited after knocking down his 4th three-pointer for the game.
Schroeder. Got Gobert up in the air momentarily and found the cutting Footman, who was fouled.
It's probably structured this way, Henrik Brodel, the coach of Germany, to play through Schroeder as much as they are. But sometimes you need a plan B or sometimes a plan C. It's in his hands so much. The ball's in his hands. He's got to do so much work with the ball and he tries to create, and that time he gets blocked. And when you don't have a lot of movement, you're standing around and you're always up against an established defense. Defense is in the right spot. They're there to help, blocking shots. 7 block shots for France.
And 3 of those from the Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA, including the one we just saw a replay of, Rudy Gobert. That's brought his A-game to the big party. So have France as a team, 22 the lead. To Colo, final 4 minutes of the 3rd quarter coming up now. Gobert moving inside, to Colo turns it over. Here goes Schroeder, and he's fouled in transition by LBC.
LBC gets the foul, and luckily he fouled with his body. Even that has a hint. Technically, according to the rules, as I understand it, you've got to be in front. You've got to be in a sound defensive position to foul on a transition opportunity. So very lucky to get away with that one. It's not uncommon for that type of foul to be called an unsportsmanlike, go to the line and get the ball back. Which it's a rule I really like. You watch an NBA game these days in transition, they hack and foul and stop the play and take away one of the more exciting parts of the game, and that's that transition offense that we see.
Schroeder. Germany just need any offense right now. That's a lovely pass to Footman, who is just about keeping Germany in it. (16 for Johannes Footman. Germany still down by 19. Nilikina.
Yes. Good call off the ball. Mbaye just tried to set a back pick, moved his feet, tried to help his team out a little too much as he ran that cut. Gets caught for the moving screen. You've got to call that.
Third foul on Mbaye. And he will go to the bench, the man who leads all scorers in the game with 21 points. Is this where Germany start to chip away at that sizable deficit with 3 minutes and change remaining in the 3rd? Schroeder on the move. Footman, he's got the hot hand for Germany, takes on another 3, not giving up hope just yet. Johannes Footman knocks down another.
Isn't it? He's been great. He's found the range. And I think you got to milk that. When you've got a guy and you're struggling to put points on the board, you're only shooting at 28%, and you've got someone that's made a few, just keep going through him. Play through him, create some shots for him, and then hopefully others generate some confidence through that.
We talked at the start about Germany's three-point shooting ability, even the big men able to hit. Johannes Footman at 2 meters 9, 6'10", has knocked down 3 of 4 from the outside. And it's that long-range shooting right now that is keeping Germany in the ball game.
It is, and hit or miss.
The timeout called by Vincent Collet, who has been national team head coach for a decade, led France to their first ever goal at Eurobasket in 2013. Mbaye is the man looking to lead France to victory here. 21 points to lead all scorers, 8 of 12 from the field, 4 of 6 from downtown.
You look at that one, even that one, Mbaye a lot of them have been open. He hasn't seemed to be pressing, pushing. He's let the game come to him. He's been good around the basket. We saw he had a couple of putbacks, and there you see his numbers, 21.67%. And played the 21.5 minutes.
16 points is the gap, still a big one, but Germany getting a little bit closer. Gobert, Batum. And an offensive foul again.
It was another moving screen. Laborie just trying to, again, create some space. Have a look. Just the movement, not a lot in it, just the slightest of movement. And when you're trying to lock and trail and defend the guys coming off the screen, you like to see those called, mate.
Both teams at the foul limit for the third quarter now. The offensive foul does not send the opposition to the foul line, though. Only fouls from the defense. Here's Voetman reeling it in, kicking it out. Lovely pass from the big man as well. And Benzing, the next to step up with a captain's contribution. Another three for Germany. They've closed the gap to 13.
It is, and it's start to get a bit of belief when it gets this close as well. Schroeder with the foul. Ntilikina just grabbed his arm. Schroeder just grabbed his arm as he tries to go by. A little tough to get away with that one. Great pass, wasn't it? The inside, outside action. Robin Benzing, he's renowned for being able to shoot the ball.
And that was his first field goal on his 7th attempt.
He's better than that. Had a couple of looks. Sort of player, he sees that ball go through the net, start to generate some confidence.
He's the only German player as well with previous World Cup experience on this roster, despite the amount of talent it has. Ntilikina knocking down the foul shot. Both of them, 15 the lead. Just over 2 minutes to play in the third. Schroeder turning on the afterburners, kicking it to the corner, around the outside. Benzing, bang!
I love it.
2 in a row for the captain.
I love the passing as well. He just made one, make the extra pass, find him again, wide open three, knocks it down.
Oh, what about that from Ntilikina, but he couldn't finish. Tremendous athleticism from the 21-year-old. Schroeder dancing through the defense, and Germany are dancing their way back into this contest.
They're showing great resilience, Germany, down by as many as 22 and working their way back into it.
And they've closed the deficit to 10. Ntilikina, Laborie onto Poirier. Oh, he turns it over into Voetman. There's the passing of the big man again. Down the floor, all the way goes Benzing, who scored 8 points in a matter of seconds.
Benzing leaks out, gets the cheapie, and all of a sudden, got an 8-point ball game.
What a game. And there's still 11 minutes of it left. Batum. Poirier almost turned over again. Voetman all over him. Poirier going one way and then the other. Can't get away from Germany's leading scorer. Then he does, and he puts it in with the contact. Poirier winning that particular battle.
Just with a half a second remaining as well. Just saw there, Walkman, for some reason, he saw the shot clock and wasn't sure he's going to get around, so he went on the high side, created that opening. Poirier, good enough just to kiss it off the glass, so just a little breakdown. Misjudgment by Voetman.
And Poirier completes the three-point play just to ease a little bit of the tension that has been building on France. 11 points the lead as we approach the close of the third quarter. Schroeder looking to go through the gears again, high off the window with the foul from Ntilikina. Schroeder turning on the pace and turning on the quality.
Didn't he? Here it is. This is just a one-on-one battle. Gets into the paint, draws the contact. Then he knows he's got it going for nothing. The shot, throws it up and gets it, and you can see just what this means to Henrik Rodel, who is relieved to see the scoreboard ticking over.
Schroeder 1 of 8 from the field in the first half, 4 of 5 from the field here in this third quarter. Misses the and one though. Germany have finally found their form. 28 points in this quarter. And they're still down by 9. And there's another foul, this one on Footman. Foul's really racking up.
It is, and that one to me, he's trying to show. So you see, coming off, trying to do the right thing, and wow, I can see his complaint there. When it happened in real time, I thought that was just a breakdown and a bit of a brain freeze by Footman, but DiCarlo, he created a lot of that contact and sold it well.
France are still in the driver's seat, but Germany have at least put themselves in the car. Because they've been left behind over the course of the first quarter, having conceded the first 14 points in the ball game and gone down by 17 in the first. They've been down by as many as 22 altogether. And they're down by 11 here. Shot clock turned off at the end of the third. Ball in the hands of Dennis Schroeder. Here he goes again. The lane opens up for Schroeder. High off the window. Wouldn't go. He'll have to earn them both from the strike.
He does, and again, Schroeder just taking matters into his own hands. Pretty simple stuff for that last play. Just a middle on ball. Gets a head of steam up, and when he gets downhill, although he's small, he's quick and uses his body really, really well to protect it, create some separation to get those shots off.
So Schroeder at the line with 6.2 seconds remaining in the quarter, looking to make it a single-digit deficit. And that will give Germany a huge boost to head into the break between the third and the fourth, only down by single numbers.
Spot on, Tim, because just that psychological barrier as well. And you look up, you see you're in single digits, just for whatever reason, generates a bit of belief that you can reel it in. They've had a few runs at it, Germany, after a slow start, got it back to 4. France pushed it back out to 20 plus, and now they're back in the ball game.
Schroeder has 16 points in the game now, the vast majority of them coming in this third quarter. And he goes to the bench for the final seconds of it, as Germany look for one big defensive stop. Fournier gets it away in time off the window, didn't get the angle right. Poirier got the touch, but couldn't get the finish, and that will do it for a big third quarter for Germany. They've come from 22 down to get within 9 and to give themselves a shot. France 59, Germany 50.
Yeah, and the shooting percentages for Germany are starting to pick up. Look at it, particularly the three-point shooting percentages all the way up to 8 of 14. That's some healthy shooting considering where they were coming from, and that's what it's going to take. The three ball was where they got themselves going. Benson came in, knocked down a couple of threes, generate some momentum, and despite the way the game has unfolded, Germany have played themselves back into a position where they should have some real belief that they can work their way through this.
It's a wonderful setting for this wonderful basketball game. Evan Fournier, 15 points for France, is his best scoring output at the World Cup. He's been here before. And Amatem Bai is the man who leads France in scoring, but Dennis Schroeder trying to haul Germany back into contention. He's now got 16. And after going 1 of 8 from the field in the first half, he's 4 of 5 so far in the second. But what a performance from Johannes Voetmann, who really was the spark for that German comeback, knocking down 3-pointers. The big man 3 of 4 from the outside, en route to 19 points, a team high for Germany.
It is. He lit the flames, and it's just starting to spread now. Others are getting involved, and both teams doing a terrific job from the three-point line. 8 of 14, 57% and 62% from France. And the way this game is unfolding, they'll go back in and they'll study the tape. But one of the areas that France will look at and say, well, just the turnover. The turnover rate's 14 turnovers already in the game. It's eased up a little bit. They had 10 early on, but still 14 is way too many. This first 4 minutes really is where Germany needs to be able to hang in there, put some scoreboard pressure, get this lead down to 3 or 4, have France start thinking about it, make those perimeter shots a whole lot tougher when you're only 3 or 4 up as opposed to 9 or 11.
Germany lost the first quarter by 12 points, so combined they've won the second and third quarters by 3. They scored 30 points in that third quarter, and they pick up right where they left off. Getting highlight reel high. Schroeder throwing it up and going all the way to the heavens to stuff it down. Daniel Theis.
That's a great pass by Schroeder. And he's going to go to the line for the end one. It was a late call, but it certainly was there.
And a chance to reduce the arrears to 6. Theis completes the three-point play. Can Germany complete the comeback against the reigning bronze medalists? From 22 down, they are within 6. Now BC to De Colo. Fournier to the foul line, puts it up and puts it in.
What a beautiful set. Composure, ran a little shuffle cut, stagger away, they get it to their shooter, and he calmly knocks it down. They get the reward for some good execution.
Schroeder looking to work with the screen on the perimeter. He'll work his way inside for the easy score. Maxi Kleber cool and composed on the edge of the paint. The first score for Kleber, one of Germany's 3 NBA players. 6 points the gap again. Fournier for 3 this time. And Poirier so good at following it up on the offensive glass. And he got fouled in the process.
Gee, you love that as a coach. Poirier that time just wanted it more. He came from beyond the keyway and just didn't give up on the ball. Went to the basket, bounced his way, and now he gets rewarded.
You know, at the EuroLeague with 8.3 boards a game, and many of those on the offensive glass last season.
And that really what makes great rebound is that sort of effort. Now, he just made beeline for the rim, and the ball when he's right. Now, you might do that 10 times and you only get it 3, but if you don't do it the 10 times, you're not going to pick up those 3.
Average close to 12 points. 1 block and 1 steal as well, and earned himself a big move to the Boston Celtics after a place in the EuroLeague second team. He's put France up by 8. Schroeder away from Albisi, takes the pull-up jumper this time. It rolls around, comes back out. Kleber grabs the offensive board for Germany. A second chance for them.
Kleber just did what Poirier did down the other end. Just great hustle, getting after it.
And Schroeder lost it on the dribble. Germany have to be careful here. There's plenty of time, 8.5 minutes. They don't want to get too erratic. Here's De Colo inside, he misses.
Wow.
And Germany get away with it. And then Schroeder fouled in transition by De Colo.
Colo looks a little upset out there. The game's not going his way. Just tried to make the steal. I don't think there's too much in it, other than the fact that Schroeder's down and looks a little worse for wear.
Germany can ill afford an injury to him. 25-year-old point guard who had such a spectacular campaign in the NBA last season. Turns 26 on the day of the gold medal game. That would be the dream for him.
And buys back into the game as well.
Benzing bounce pass towards the baseline, creating a bit of room to unload was Tyson.
Wow.
Plenty of contact.
Gobert got away with one there. Looked like he threw the left elbow out.
DeColo looking to orchestrate the offense for France and a foul.
Germany, we saw after halftime, they came out and they are really testing the limits of the officials. A lot of hand contact, a lot of holding, and it's going to be a test to see how the officials judge this game. Because you can just see France just starting to get a little agitated with some of the contact and the holding that's going on.
Getting furious, fast and fiery here at the 2019 FIBA World Cup.
That
and how about that Fournier turning the basketball court into a dance floor?
Slicing and dicing. When you're going to come off the screen, you've got to help. You can't let him split the screen. But never mind that. What about the touch to finish it as well? Beautiful stuff.
19 points for the Orlando Magic star.
Benzing had the size advantage and just didn't make the most of it. Poor shot that time.
Fournier, who averaged close to 15 points per game with Orlando last season, pulls the trigger on a three and gets nothing but net. 22 points for Evan Fournier.
His shot is a thing of beauty. It's beautiful technique, great release, and this time here, the little fumble, he's feeling it after a couple of floaters around the rim, and that time, just a quick trigger and splashes it down. There it is, not fazed by it. Benzing trying to run around and stay with him, and he knew he's going to only need a little bit of separation, let it fly, and you can see the excitement it's generated.
Germany from 22 down have been as close as 6, but the lead has grown for France to 13 again with around 7 minutes to play.
That's great athleticism by Tice early on to start the quarter. Real momentum generating play. That and one cut the lead to 6, but France have done a really good job to steady the ship. Led by Fournier.
And Schroeder with 16 points and 6 assists after that difficult start. Germany still trail by double figures though. Another Schroeder pass. Kleber moves it on to Lowe. Lowe lines up the three over the top of the basket. Grabbed by Daniel Tice. And there was some contact underneath.
Yeah, Mbai, I think it was. He's the one that looks like he's complaining the most. They're always tough when you only catch a little bit of the rim and it's coming on that weak side. They're tough balls to rebound.
Schroeder to inbound from the baseline, deep to Tice. And there's another foul to Colo again.
Gotta love the effort though. Critical stage, they have a chance to put this game beyond reach. Next few defensive positions, a few couple of stops and scores, and it's going to make it really tough. And DeColo, great effort on the defensive end, trying to fight through those screens.
It's the second on DeColo. Before that, the fourth on Mbai, France's leading scorer. Here's Schroeder into the lane, and a beautiful floater will fall. 18 for Schroeder. 11 points the lead for France. Fournier. Looking to work behind the screen with Gobert, who moves inside. And by onto Albisi for three. Short, through to the rebound. Kleber setting the high screen. Schroeder going past everybody, but not past Gobert, who was in the way for his fourth block of the night.
What a luxury to have. Gets beat off the dribble. Anything in the paint, he's going to collect.
Nice ball movement around the perimeter. Kleber misses the shot. Tyson big rebound. Put off by the presence of Gobert. Went too high and too long. Fournier. A floater from him, and another rejection, this time from the German defense. Low, looking to find Kleber, and they mess up the fast break opportunity. It was a great effort getting back, but Germany have lacked that clinical edge so far here this evening. Fournier bounced past Gobert, couldn't quite reel it in, but it ricochets kindly for Albisi, although an offensive foul.
No, they've called it a foot violation on Albisi. I didn't see it myself, but that was the call. Getting to that stage where it's starting to come down to the last roll of dice. 5 minutes to go, trailing it by 11. Really need to make the most of every opportunity now. Get this down to a level where France have to start thinking about it a little bit more on the offensive end.
Midway point of the final quarter, Germany down by 11. Schroeder down on the floor. It was a flat shot from Kleber. Voetman for three. Yes, another one for Johannes Voetman. And Germany are far from done and dusted.
My word, that's a big play. Voetman just, again, wide open. Kick out. I mean, there's no one within 3 or 4 meters. Really good pass by Lowe. And Voetman, he was the one that got things going early on in the game. He's up to 22 now. 7 of 8. 4 or 5 from the three-point line.
Johannes Voetman, 22 points, ties level with Evan Fournier as the top scorer in this game. Fournier 22, and Matten by 21 for France. It is the first time since 1986 that they've had 2 players scoring 20-plus points in a World Cup game.
Wow, that's surprising.
Fournier has also got a double-double. 10 rebounds to go along with those joint game-high 22 points. Albisi, France by 8 off the back of the timeout. Fournier. De Colo looking for it, spins basket side, but a denial from Kleber. Germany looking to match France with those blocks. They've had a couple here in the fourth already. And there's one right back from Gobert. That's 5 for him in the game.
They've got a mismatch. Gobert trying to guard low, and they don't get it to him. That's one of those. Wow.
Confusion.
A kick ball was one ref, and if it was purely accidental. There's no intent to kick it, and I think they eventually come up with the correct decision, and it's France ball. That was the time. Schroeder had the ball. They had the mismatch. Gobert was on low, and there was a mismatch on the floor. Moved the ball. He was calling out for it. Just stuck in Schroeder's hands a little too long, and a turnover from it. So big play, an opportunity missed.
De Colo to Gobert, who hands it off to Fournier, and a foul.
Zips has got the challenge now of trying to guard Fournier. And that's going to be tough because France is suspecting the way Fournier is playing. They're going to go through him, create as many opportunities they can for him to get some shots off.
Fournier prodding and probing. Batum finding Gobert, who gets the easy throw down on the inside.
Might have been a little bit lucky that time. Batum, soft bounce past it, split the gap and found Gobert.
Schroeder. And a foul. Gobert coming up with all of those blocks, and then he adds the big dunk.
Schroeder's going to the free throw line. France exceeded their limit.
Gobert has had 5 of France's 9 blocks, and is the most for him in a World Cup game. And it's also the most for any team so far at this World Cup. And the most that France have had in a World Cup game in the 21st century.
Wow.
Their interior defense has come to play here in China in 2019. 8 points the gap. Schroeder now has 20. There goes Gobert, looking to volley his way to the basket, kicks it back out to Colo, contested 3, Schroeder the rebound, looking to run again. Voetman this time put the brakes on the 3-point attempt.
They close him out hard. They know he's got the hot hand, and as they should, make him put it to the floor, see what he can do off the bounce. He's shown that if his feet are set, he can catch and shoot. He'll knock that down.
Voetman 4 of 5 from the outside, en route to his 22 points. Only Dirk Nowitzki in 2002 has scored more points on his World Cup debut for Germany. And Nowitzki is in attendance here this evening. Schroeder looking to slice his way past Gobert, took a hard fall.
And they've called it on Gobert. Looked like he went straight up and Schroeder extended the left arm. Let's take a look at the replay. See Gobert, just the forward motion perhaps of the body. Schroeder tries to sell it. On that replay, this might give us a better angle. I think Gobert's a little unlucky. Schroeder, yeah, Gobert agrees with me. Schroeder just throwing out the arm to fend off.
And this is where Germany need their superstars and characters to step up late in the game, down by 8.
He's missed that shot, but he's going to give him another one. They're saying De Colo stepped in. Now, technically that might be the correct call, but I haven't seen that call in 15, 20 years. Maybe at your local under-16 comp you might see a call like that, mate. But a very good shooter, free throw shooter, and Schroeder shoots it near enough to 82% last season in the NBA. He's missed 2 in a row, so perhaps a little bit of justice for De Colo.
Third time lucky for Schroeder. The gap here with 3 minutes to play is 7 in France's favour. Albisi moving it to Batum. Fournier around the big frame of Gobert, into the lane, back out. Albisi for 3, would have been a huge basket. Instead it's a huge offensive rebound from De Colo.
And when you're down and you're trying to catch up with only a little under 3 minutes to go, they're the plays you must come up with. Low that time, interested in the ball rather than the man. De Colo comes in and sneaks one and forced a foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot a couple.
De Colo, the second shortest player on the French roster, although still lengthy for a guard. Misses his first foul shot.
Wow, and he is one of the best of all time.
95% in the EuroLeague last season.
Incredible.
Was never going to miss 2 in a row. 8 points, the France lead again. Schroeder around Footman, who's free on the perimeter. He'll go for another three. Did you ever doubt him? Johannes Footman on fire from the outside. 5 of 6 now, en route to 25 points. What a World Cup debut for the 26-year-old centre. Fournier, they backed off him, invited him to shoot, and he couldn't make it count. Germany within 5, looking to make it a one-possession ball game as we approach the final 2 minutes. Schroeder took a bump, created some space and put it in, and Germany are on the charge.
Just manufactured that shot. A little step back contact with Schroeder, just with a little push shot from outside the key. Makes it a 3-point ball game.
Fans on their feet in Shenzhen, just listen to the noise. This is what the FIBA World Cup is all about. Gobert on the inside, got it to drop, will it count? A wag of the finger underneath from Footman. The basket is good for France.
It is, and that's a great touch by the big fella. Little up and under, gets the nice roll, drops it in.
France's superstar stepping up when they needed something. And now a chance at a 3-point play. 8 points for Gobert. Add 1 more to that tally. 6 points the lead for Vincent Collet's team.
Mbai checks back in for De Nicolo.
Schroeder, just over 1.5 minutes to play. Schroeder and Footman looking to combine on the perimeter again. Schroeder around him, shooting the 3 too long. Gobert could only tip it out of bounds.
Fournier and Gobert going for that one and spoiling each other.
So much hanging on these final plays and final seconds. Surely the winner of this will win the group, and the result carries through to the second round as well, so it offers a huge advantage in terms of trying to get to the quarterfinals. Inside, over their head, a moment of magic from Maxi.
Another great find by Schroeder.
Germany within 4. Now BC to Batum from the outside, wouldn't go. 1 minute to play. The wind in the sails of Germany. The wind in the sails of Footman. He misses one for only the second time from the outside.
Great look and great find by Schroeder. He had his shooter wide open.
Is that it for Germany? Can France put this one to bed? 48. Shot clock to 5, directing traffic. Gobert comes out, then goes back in, off one leg. What a finish from Fournier.
Fournier just all class with a step back. He's shown us the full repertoire with this time the left-hand drive. Look at the little step back. That is a tough shot in a big crisis moment for France, and he comes up with a huge 2.
The man who scored 27 points in the defeat to Germany in the round of 16 in the 2017 Eurobasket. France looking for payback for that defeat, and he's got 24 tonight.
I can't speak German, so I can't exactly know what he's talking about, but basically, look, judging by what we saw on the board, Henrik Rue, they're just drawing up a play where they need a 3. They need to try and make this a 2-possession game. If we take another look at that step back, they advance the ball because they need a quick shot. Not only do they need to score, they need a quick shot, preferably a 3. And then a stop down the other end and give themselves a chance.
Incredible shot from Fournier, up to 24 points and 10 rebounds, the double-double. Looking to carry France to victory. Schroeder to inbound, and he went for the lob straight towards Kleber. And there's some contact underneath.
I'm a little surprised. That was a drawn-up play. They're going for the 2 rather than the 3 with only 32 seconds remaining. If they go to the line, he's going to... Not sure, it must have been...
Bayer's fouled out.
Bayer's fouled out. Must have been on the cut to the basket.
He fouls out on 21 points, the second top scorer for France behind Fournier. His World Cup debut. And he leaves it to his teammates to try and see it over the finish line.
Not sure. I think it was Kleber that was cutting to the basket for that alley-oop play. The ball was tipped. I guess maybe the question was, well, did the foul occur before the ball at inbounds? And if that's the case, you get 2 and possession. Now, that's the only thing I can think of that the players, that the referees would be looking at. He's got the ball in the hands.
Okay, let me see again. Go back, go back. Go back. Okay. Touch the ball, okay. Yes, touch the ball. Okay, normal foul.
Yes, that's the correct call. The ball had left the hand and it had been touched. So that is the correct call.
Germany down by 6, 32.5 seconds to play. It is certainly enough time.
They need everything to go right.
And against the French defense, which has been right on top of its game for the vast majority. Kleber looking to cut the deficit to 4. Every point is huge for Germany. He makes them both. And now we've got a stoppage, a timeout.
Well, it's Germany that's called the timeout, but it's France's ball. So I don't know. Not sure what the... Not sure. A little bit of confusion there of what's gone on, because it looked like maybe France did call that timeout, but that would surprise me. Didn't seem like that was going on. Nevertheless, Germany get a chance to set up their defense. France have the option here. Yeah, France have the opportunity to advance the ball, but they won't do that because that'll reduce their time in possession from 24 to 14. So I suspect that they're still going to inbound it. And what Germany are looking to do, have a trapping situation in the backcourt. Get a trap, try and get the turnover. But if it gets into the front court, that's when I think you'll see them commit a foul to try and stop that clock. They can't afford to let this clock run down too deep.
32.5 seconds remaining. They did add some time to the clock, which may have been an issue before. De Colo is trapped in the corner, found a way out, but then throws it away, looking down the floor for Gobert. A 4-point game, 25.6 to play. Ball in the hands of Germany.
Wow. De Colo making a tough full-court pass straight away, and Germany got exactly what they were looking for out of that possession.
They need a quick score. A few quicker than Dennis Schroeder.
hopefully a 3, but they'll take any score right now.
Schroeder puts up the 3, halfway down and back out again. Might get another chance onto the corner. Modo low down the baseline. The cut from Footman, and then the mid-range jumper will go. 2-point game, but just 5.8 seconds to play.
Timeout called by France. They will advance the ball on this occasion. Almost got a good ball movement. Low, almost a hint of stepping out of bounds.
Paul Zipser with a must-make shot. And this one is going right down to the wire, as Dominican Republic and Jordan did on this court earlier today.
Now again, we've got an issue. I think they've gone to the clock to see if the shot clock or the game clock, they've added an extra second. It's now 6.3 seconds, so that helps Germany as well. And now we have the timeout. So, in fact, France get a little extension because of that video review. The timeout doesn't actually start until that review is completed. So they get a little bit of extra time, technically.
Yeah, we're seeing 6.3 there as it changes at the bottom right of your picture. 6.3 seconds remaining. Germany down by 2. Ball in the hands of France, though.
And on this situation here, Germany looking to extend the defense, get in the lanes. If they can't get a steal off the inbound, you'll see a very, very quick foul and hope that France can't make free throws.
So the first challenge for France, the first hurdle that would be a huge hurdle towards victory, is just getting the ball in successfully.
Correct. But you want to get it into the right person as well. You want to get it into a good free throw shooter.
As if France miss one, it will give Germany the chance to tie with a 3. Of course, if they miss both, it would give Germany the chance to tie or to win it. So much could yet happen in the final 6.3 seconds. Nicolas Batum, the man to inbound. There's the movement. They get it in to Fournier. Now Germany have to foul, and they do. 4.2 left on the clock, and a very good foul shooter goes to the line.
They do. A little surprised that DiColo wasn't back on the floor with his 95%, but they stay with it and get it into another very reliable shooter and a man that's really been feeling it. 24 points on the night. 5 of 7 though, so he has come up short. He knocks that one down. Germany now really relying on this to miss, or else game over.
This the big one for Fournier to make it a 2-possession ball game, and he does. 26 points on the night. Germany all but done. Quick shot for them. There'll be no time, and France start the 2019 FIBA World Cup with a win. They had to work hard for it down the stretch. A terrible start for Germany, who battled back but couldn't complete the comeback. France win it by 4, 78-74.
Yeah, what an impressive display it was by France, and full credit to Germany. They looked cooked very early on, could not throw the thing in the ocean, but eventually found a way to get themselves going. Still only ended up shooting it at 36%, 32% from the field. And you see the numbers, it's the steals by Germany. They were up and in the lanes. The turnovers just kept Germany in it with 16. And really it was an impressive performance by Germany after a horrific start. 4 points in the first quarter, quite extraordinary. And you look at the leading scorers there. Fournier was doing some terrific work for France, and Hochman was just outstanding, I think, for Germany. 8 of 10 from the field, 5 of 7 from the three-point line for his 25 points.
Yeah, 2 players on 20-plus points for both of these two. And then 26 from Evan Fournier, the leading scorer in this ball game. And a double-double for him as well, with 10 rebounds. The first player to have a 20-plus point, 10-plus rebound double-double in a Basketball World Cup game for France since the 1994 tournament, which of course you know something about.
Yes, I do. Lovely tournament that was. Look at this, Tice I thought this was going to be the spark they needed. This cut the lead to only 6. And Tice getting it spoon-fed to him by Schroeder. Nice alley-oop play. This game, though, I think both these teams are going to get better as the tournament rolls on. Too many turnovers, a few patches in the game was pretty ordinary basketball, but they'll sort that out. A lot of these players may not have played for a little while other than the exhibition game, so to get the first really full-blooded important game under your belt will serve them well. And that man there, Fournier, he was outstanding. When it was required and big buckets were required, he stepped up. A lot of his points early on, he was just cooking because he's an elite shooter. But when the game is on the line, that's when you really get tested. And France went to him, and he delivered in spades.
The voice of Andrew Gay's top scorer at that 1994 World Cup, and we've seen plenty of offensive firepower on display here in Shenzhen tonight as well. The 26 points for Evan Fournier. Germany led by the 25 of Johannes Voigtmann, the best tally of a German player on a World Cup debut since Dirk Nowitzki, who's in attendance here this evening. They also had 23 from Dennis Schroeder, and France also had 21 from Amat Mbaye on his World Cup debut. But inside, how about the presence of this man, Rudy Gobert, who stuffs that one home, but he had 5 blocks in the game.
It is. That's his trademark. That's his signature. That's what he's elite at. I don't think there's anyone better in the world than him as far as rim protection. He's got size, length, and like we were talking about earlier on, timing is also critical. And it's a great thing that France have, that you can extend your defense. They get by him, you've got that rim protection. But Germany eventually started to figure things out. Figured it out and how they needed to move the ball, and most importantly started to make shots early on. They just had some really good looks and weren't able to knock them down. But you can see the emotion from France, because this, as you mentioned, is a really, really tough pool. Not just this one, but when they go on to the next round, they're going to have some tough opponents. So they'll carry a win. If it is Germany that go ahead to the next round with them, they'll carry that win into the next round, and that'll give them an advantage.
A 54-42 second half to Germany, but they just gave themselves too much to do with that poor start, conceding the first 14 points of the ball game and going down by 12 at the end of one.
It is, and it's that 4-point first quarter. That's the one that they'll be looking at to go back over to see that that's where they need to make the improvement.
And there's a quick look at the group, a very quick look. The wins for Dominican Republic and France today puts them in pole position at the moment. Germany will have a chance to respond over the next 2 game days, though. It has been an absolute pleasure having your company here on game day 1 of the 2019 FIBA World Cup in Shenzhen.